Good evening, folks, and welcome to tonight's Master Plan Update Steering Committee. Paul, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you folks hear what sounds like explosions, it's thunder outside right now.
My antenna's hooked up to my ham radio, so it's not a good thing.
All right, tonight, it's a short agenda for us, just a final preparation for going downstairs with the planning board. Discuss the draft master plan and our priorities that we talked about last meeting. Next steps as far as a committee charge. Pass on some meeting minutes, and then talk about some of our next meetings. So with that, at our last meeting, you folks asked that, based on everything we discussed that evening, and all the inputs we received over the time, the master plan itself, is to distill all of that into some priorities. We had been talking about the top two. There had been a recommendation perhaps to go to three, if two seemed insufficient. I took that to heart, and as I went through it all and thought through it, talked to folks, it seemed that three was it. And they'd be incorporated into the letter that previously you folks had said that you were sanguine with. So with that, the top three priorities that I'm recommending we include in our letter as a cover letter to the master plan, and I want to say that these are in order. They're equal in many, many ways. So a complete and comprehensive zoning update would be one. A commitment to a common revitalization, second one. And third, improve intermodal transportation connectivity. It seemed that those three areas were the bulk of our discussions in some way, shape, or form. And we were intent on making sure that we didn't silo them, that there had to be interconnectivity. They had to be complementary to each other. I think when you get down to it, these three fit the bill for us, because there's certainly some zoning issues that we know have to be taken care of here in town. We've had many discussions there. The common, for example, we had a charrette solely devoted to the common. That's how important it is to us here in town. And the intermodal transportation connectivity. If you think about it, I'm talking about here bicycles, pedestrians, automobiles, buses, trains. Now of those, we have them all except buses for the most part here in town at this point. But we could see certainly some expansion there, and we had those discussions. So that improvement there, I think certainly buses would come into it, and then sidewalks. And I'll give you an example of one of the things I was thinking about with sidewalks. We talked about Northern Bank, and they're building a plaza from where the Northern Bank is now to the old consignment store and along there. And some of the discussions we've had as far as wanting something not in the back, such as Aubuchon Plaza is, but more towards the street, and then with parking behind. And this was just a nascent thought that I had on that, that would somewhat satisfy this a little bit, both from a common perspective and pedestrian bicycle, and that is have the building somewhat near the street with double wide or maybe even wider sidewalk type, and rather than it all being sidewalk, there's a bicycle path there. So it doesn't solve the entire problem for the town, but it begins to address it at least. And it's something that other folks thought was right, and they see would germinate. So just to give you an example of some of the things I was thinking of when I came up with this as a priority and some of the more specifics. So with that said, discussion, please.
You don't have that draft in writing?
Tell me what I'm.
What the language would be for those three?
Yeah, it's-
Turn it over,
Yeah.
Paul.
Turn it over.
Okay, and when we discussed these before, I thought that specifically referencing the sewer project and the common revitalization was agreed upon. That if it wasn't going to be in the bolded headline, that it would be in the accompanying text.
Well, certainly it's in the master plan itself.
Oh, I know that, but it came up, when we polled on our priorities, it came up top of the list. And now it's
Well,
erased.
No, I wouldn't say it's erased at all, because for me personally, it's incumbent in there. If we're going to do any kind of common revitalization, infrastructure is part of that. And it's more than just one piece of the infrastructure that has to be taken care of there.
It was the sewer specifically that was cited, not, I mean,
I think the spirit, Mr. Chairman, the spirit of
of it, I think, is caught in the text above the three suggested items, to assist and encourage the town to follow through. So unlike the other priorities that are contained in the master plan itself, these have two purposes. First, they represent a general consensus of us, and not so specific in terms of when you say commit to common revitalization, there is no revitalization without addressing the environmental conditions of the common. That's common knowledge.
I don't think that's common knowledge.
Well, this is.
That's something that we encounter as a issue that needs to be overcome time and time again.
Well, I would offer that sometimes it's intransigence that should be met with, and not necessarily a lack of understanding of it.
Which is it here?
Say that again?
Which is it here?
Oh, it's neither on mine. It's neither on what I
Well,
offer
I don't know,
here.
it's being resistant. Came out top of the list, and yet it's not on here, but that's, I just think it looks awfully vague here. I mean, we went into a master plan because we needed comprehensive zoning updates, common revitalization, and improving transportation
That's not what
connectivity.
that's not what this letter
We come out with
says.
saying
No,
we
wait,
need the
wait,
same three
you're misrepresenting because you're trying to sell. You're trying to sell.
I already sold, made the
You're sold.
pitch.
Okay, so the pitch here is we're trying to inspire other folks who read this to say, okay, this is what they came up with. We have this, well, how many are in our 65 recommendations?
66, yes.
All right? And we even have an admission from people who've allegedly read it that they haven't even gotten to the real recommendations, okay? So anything that inspires the folks to take a look at the text itself, to begin the argument, to beginning the discussion, what does revitalization mean? To you, it's been a living subject, the sewage has. To other folks,
I thought we were just told it was obvious, it wasn't just to me.
it is obvious. It is obvious.
But
And all I'm saying is that the place where it is and where it truly belongs is in the master plan itself. It's very explicit about the need for a sewage system there. Here, it says revitalization, and it's shorthanded for what you're gonna do with the common. So, for me, at least, I'm satisfied for less is more in this case.
Others?
I believe that it's encompassing, so the common can include the sewer system, it can include a study about Great Road. It's encompassing as to what needs to be done to achieve the revitalization. So I think it's there.
Bartlett?
I agree. I think there's in spite of the work that we've done, I think there's an educational component to talking about the sewer and the common. I think they're completely interconnected. When I read this comprehensive revitalization, I read sewer into that.
Good.
It has to be part of the discussion. I think there has to be more education to the town. I think, talking technically about the nitrate levels or whatever it is in the soil that's driving this, that kind of thing really needs to be brought out. So I think this is fine, because just people who've been through this process know what this means. And I think that meaning has to be brought out and spread out.
Otto?
Yeah, as I said the other day, I think we're trying to find something that's the base for the master plan, and I think this is the items that you put there. They represent that.
All right. John?
I like the way it's broad enough, but not very specific. It forces people to look into the document. And also, I think the letter's pretty good. Weird.
Melissa?
So I also agree the letter is very good. For me, I thought the same thing as the feedback, which was to me, obviously the sewer has to be part of the revitalization, but Paul just made an interesting point. It's so obvious to me, but it might not be obvious to everybody, right? So I'd be willing to kind of expand it and mention something about sewer, maybe just to talk a little bit more specifically, but if I'm hearing the rest of the group, that's not really what they're feeling, so. But
I'm not gonna pursue it any further, I just thought that it had already been identified as the top consensus priority, but if this is the text, that's fine. The only other change I'd mention on the letter is I think they or Bartlett's misidentified as being a member of the Conservation Commission. I believe it's the Housing
Right,
Authority that you're
right.
representing here.
I had fixed that, but not this, it's fixed on what I have at the house. So I apologize, actually, my machine right here. Look at that, thanks for reminding me though.
I did,
No, and I
Right,
got that, and
yeah.
I made the correction.
all right.
This was from previous, so that's why, okay. In fact, I think there was one other little punctuation or grammar thing I made a change of. but-
I think
Okay, so
if
then-
people want to be more specific, they can, if they do the indexing and all that that I requested, they can drill down real quick.
So what I'll do then is I'll take a motion on this with the correction housing authority for Bartlett correction. Anybody want to make that?
I'll make a motion that we accept the letter with the designated correction.
Second?
Okay, motion made and seconded. Any further debate on it? All in favor?
Right?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, carries. You know what I didn't ask? You mind taking minutes?
I'm trying, but.
Oh, you are? Oh, thank you.
But I'm really bad at
Yeah.
that. Someone can
I
replace
can help.
me.
I was gonna ask Mike, because he's got such great handwriting.
So if you want somebody really obscure, I can help you out.
Maybe so you want the. I'm good.
Your notes so far?
Yeah,
Thanks so much.
thank you.
Apologize to you for that.
Pretty good.
All right, next steps. You pick up this form here, and it's entitled Draft for Discussion, April 6. Establishment Master Plan Implementation Committee. All right, what we had as a recommendation is that the Board of Selectmen would form the Implementation Committee. And so I have a suggestion, we stick with that. And then there's a draft charge in here. Certainly it can be wordsmithed considerably. What I'd like your thoughts on how we go down this road. As I said, what we put in the master plan up to this point, certainly the implementation committee, it's an absolute must. And that it would be formed by the selectmen and report to the selectmen. So thoughts there.
Looks right to me. I mean, I think 5 members, I mean, obviously with 12, it's hard to get a quorum.
Yeah.
So that's tough. And anyone can participate even if they're not on the board. Remind me of the staggered term thing with one,
So instead of everybody starting at the same time, well, they all would, but one would start at 1 year, 2 at 2 years, 2 at 3 years from the initial. So next year, we'd have to, the Board of Selectmen would have to appoint someone to fill that 1 year slot
Okay,
for
okay.
3 years.
keep it.
So it's just like the selectmen
Rotating.
and, is now school committee. We've got 2
Gotcha.
teamed up 2 years
Yeah.
and 1.
I think there was consensus support for doing an implementation committee. I think the selectmen will probably want to have some discussion about membership in the work plan.
And that's,
So as far as a starting place, this is fine with me.
Okay, good. Everybody else?
Voting structure makes sense.
And that's the intent, is to submit it to the selectmen for your thoughts, and it'll be your committee to do as you wish, so. Okay, so,
Yeah,
good then.
that's good to know.
All right, so I'll make those corrections on this sheet here, and then that's what we'll present to you, to the selectmen and to the Board of Selection, the planning board, when we meet with them 2 weeks from tonight.
I just want to, one question of the Board of Selectmen, sort of anticipating. Are you satisfied with something like this, the term limits, having enough institutional memory?
Oh, that's one of the things worth discussing. I don't know. It's the first I've, seen of this draft, and I'd be wanting to get input from others. I think institutional memory is important. I think having people who aren't on boards involved is important, too.
Yeah.
There's some things there I'd like to see a little bit differently, as far as, rather than, selectmen and the planning board,
Yeah.
that I almost think you'd want to have complete unaffiliated. Because I think the Board of Planning Board members and Board of Selectmen members are busy enough,
Yep.
and this is going to be heavy lifting.
Yeah, that's what I was That's why I was asking the question about institute, I'm just trying to get some, not trying to change anything or to, it was more just anticipating institutional memory.
Right.
I'm going to clean that up a little bit. We okay there then? All right. We have a meeting scheduled for next week on the 11th. Talk to Maren. I see no need. What do you guys think? I didn't think I'd get any objection to that. Got enough of them. Now, that said, okay, so here in about 35 minutes, we'll go downstairs to be with the planning board for the public hearing on the plan. And then again, 2 weeks from tonight, on the 20th, seeking their approval for the plan. Now, after that, and before town meeting, suggesting to have a question and answer period, a 2-hour time block downstairs, room 103. And we're looking at April 26th or 27th. So that falls obviously in between the board approving it and us presenting to town meeting, so that any people that do have questions that would not work at town meeting, because of the compressed schedule, getting everything taken care of, we could address questions and provide answers that evening. So 26 is a Wednesday, 27 is a Thursday. What preferences might you have? Now, for a little bit of background, Sustainability Committee's on the 27th, right, Renato?
In April, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think it is.
Yeah.
So,
I will not be here, though.
excuse me?
I will not be.
Oh, you're not here anyway, okay. So Gary's also there, but, so if everybody doesn't matter, you know, we could avoid the 27th, but look at your own particular calendars, please, and let's see where we can get the most folks.
I'm good either.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good, I too.
What were the 2 dates, Paul?
26, 27.
I think they're both fine.
Oh, John, take a picture.
So that's pseudo high-tech.
Yeah, exactly.
It's HP high
I
tech.
was just gonna say, this is a
I'll make it
picture, a
work.
metaphor for what's happening at HP, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very good one.
No, but the positive twist, no matter what, our HP gal gets it
26, I
done.
have a-
That's right,
KFC.
exactly. Give me my
26, I
my
have a
gum and my
KFC.
rubber band.
So, then the next day it's open.
All right. And Bartlett, you're okay, either one?
I think so.
You have to get back to me, Paul, or do you know now?
I'm gonna have to get back to you.
Okay, no.
Of all the papers tucked into my pockets, I don't have the monthly calendar.
Is it not on your phone?
Okay.
Your BlackBerry?
Oh, there's a calendar in here.
What's the calendar? Why use it, right?
All right, we have meeting minutes of the 1st and the 15th. And I'm open to a motion to accept March 1st and March 15th meeting minutes.
I move to accept the March 1st and 15th meeting minutes.
Second?
A motion made and seconded to accept the meeting minutes of March 1 and March 15. All in favor?
Discussion point. The meeting I wasn't at, I was able to follow greatly because it's so detailed. Then all of a sudden, the next meeting, it was so shortened, and that one, there was a lot of discussion. I just wonder why that happened. I don't know.
I think indeed it was short.
Hmm?
Indeed it was short.
What, the meeting? Oh, I was there, and that's what I'm saying, there was a lot of discussion on the same subjects we went over today, the priorities, but they don't appear here. But anyway, it's accurate in any event.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, they're accepted. All right. That's about all I have for this evening. Paul, anything else? Anna? Carl, if anything, for tonight?
Good job.
Renato, do you want to talk about anything else tonight? Hi, Sophia.
Sophia.
I'm good.
Mike?
I have a quick
Yes, ma'am.
question, to clarify. So one of the documents that Maren sent to us was page 55. It looks like it might be page 55 from the warrant.
Oh, yes,
Okay. So was that for us to just review?
yes.
Okay.
Worked out with Keith. First off, get as much information as we could on one piece of paper. They have to be in increments of 8, the sheets of paper, something like that. Keith was telling me, I don't remember exactly now. And we can only be one sheet, so.
Got it.
Okay, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Now, we get